Man Hour Nation, what is going on? It is at Man Hour underscore TWW, the Wyatt Williams, myself, as well as the Wisconsinite here, Man Hour underscore Tori, and we are here to give you some fantasy football guru knowledge extraordinaire. Tori, are you ready to do this, sir?
I'm here to impart my wisdom on all that need it. Here is your little sneak peek on how you can win your league. And when you do say, man, I need to listen to Tori and Wyatt, right there, that Twitter
Yep.
handle, and then Wyatt, oh, wait, over there.
That way, yeah. Right here.
Right over there.
And also at the very bottom, as you see the little thing, that'll give you all the information on where to find this show once we get up. It's a members only show, $2.99 a month. Will get you all the exclusive information for you to win your fantasy football league. But today, me and Mr. Tori Anderson himself, we have comprised a top 5 list of the top 5 flex options for this upcoming season for you to win your league. So let's get started. At number 5 for you, Tori, who do you have?
I'm going with the old man himself. He has left the Eagles. He is going into a great situation with the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with Deshaun Jackson. Nobody is going to think about Deshaun Jackson except for, guess what? Us. You want a great flex option for your league that's going to still get consistent points because guess what? You still got Cooper Kupp. You still got Robert Woods in front of you. You still got all them guys. But guess who's going to get their targets because he can still outrun 90% of the league? Give me Deshaun Jackson from the Rams.
Still outrun all of them.
As an old man, this guy's got Darrell Green type speed. Darrell Green played quarterback till he was 38 and was still one of the fastest men in the NFL.
All right, so my number 5 is going to be none other than Travis Etienne, Jacksonville running back, just coming out of Clemson. He is a rookie this year, paired up with his college quarterback. I like the fact that they've already got that chemistry. It's working, it's building. And the way they're going to use Etienne in this offense, they've already started lining him up into the slot. He's a pass-catching running back. He excels in that situation. They've already started putting him out wide and doing that. So with your PPR league, this is a guy who's going to rack up a lot of yards because not only is he going to be running the ball, splitting touches with James Robinson, not only is he going to be doing that, he'll also be receiving the ball as well. So he'll have that receiving yards on top of it as well as the receptions. So it's a really nice flex option for your team moving forward. And Tori, sir, who is your number 4?
Well, and before we get to number 4, so now you got to look. We are talking about standard scoring from the ESPN league here, folks. So we are going PPR. Standard score PPR league. So this is what we're basing all of our stuff on. When you have a question on another type of league, tweet it. Come to us on Twitter. I will get to it during the show. Me and Wyatt will answer it. We'll give you our best advice that we have. Does not matter what kind of league that you play in. We will have that fantasy football advice for you. But now
and we don't have it today,
ahead.
But moving forward, we'll even possibly add like a Q&A section, I think, to where we sit down and like break down each question, and really dive deep into each one. We could even do that on the show. Just everything you need. Let us know what you need. We're here to help you win your league.
Absolutely.
So Tori, your number 4, sir.
My number 4, and because everybody expects this team to just be awful and not do anything, I'm taking Russell Gage from the Atlanta Falcons. Russell Gage quietly had a good year last year without, being named Calvin Ridley or Julio Jones. Well, guess what? Julio's gone. They added, what's his face in the draft, the tight end from Florida. Kyle Pitts. I couldn't think of that. Yes. They added Kyle Pitts. Everybody's like, oh, he's going to be the man. I think the biggest benefactor of Julio going away is going to be Russell Gage. They are getting younger at the position. They are going to start moving forward with that younger offense for Matt Ryan. I think you have a lot more speed with Russell Gage there. He's a player that not a lot of people are going to think of. He could actually be a wide receiver 2 on your team in the league. But I think he's going to fall in most drafts. He's going to be there in that 8 to 10 round range, I believe.
Maybe even not drafted.
It could be. And hold on. My mother was calling me.
Your ringtone for your mom is a Rock Band song?
That's just for everybody. So I don't set individual ringtones. So Russell Gage is going to be the perfect flex option for your league because nobody's going to be looking at him because nobody's looking at Atlanta this year.
Absolutely, and I will jump into my number 4 now. That's going to be Kenyon Drake, the former Arizona Cardinal and Alabama Crimson Tider. Is that what you would call him? Alabama Crimson Tider? How would you say that? Former Alabama Crimson Tide player? It's just uncomfortable wording.
Former Bama player.
Right, former Bama player, Kenyon Drake, now out in Las Vegas, of course. He would be a running back 1 or maybe a 2 or maybe even 1 option, but because he will be splitting touches with Josh Jacobs out in Las Vegas, I think that he kind of takes a little bit of a step back this year into more of a flex role. But don't forget, this guy has been an RB1. He knows what it's like to take those significant reps to run the ball downhill, to be a great running back. He also is really heavy catching the ball out of the backfield. We've seen that plenty of times with Kenyon Drake. So look for him to kind of add a new whole dynamic to the Las Vegas Raiders team out there with him catching the ball and everything. It's going to be a nice little pair up. So your number 3, Tori.
My number 3, I have one of my favorite players in the entire NFL. Not only because he was a Green Bay Packer, but the man can dance. And that would be Jamal Williams, now of the Detroit Lions. I am absolutely happy he's going to get a chance. He's going to play behind DeAndre Swift. He's essentially going to be in the exact same role that he was with the Green Bay Packers. But I think he's going to be even more effective because Dan Campbell comes from New Orleans. He is a run-first type coach. All those tough carries, those 3rd and 1s, those goal line carries, those aren't going to DeAndre. Those are going to Jamal Williams. So I think Detroit's
going to points. You want your flex guy to get touchdown opportunities.
Absolutely. He can also receive the ball out of the backfield. He's a great 3rd down back because he can receive and he can block. He is a great blocker out of the backfield. So there is so many different things they can do with Jamal Williams. He is going to get his lion's share. Get that? See, lion's share, because he's with the Lions now, of his carries and his playing time in there behind DeAndre Swift. It's going to take pressure off of DeAndre Swift, and DeAndre Swift is actually going to learn things from Jamal Williams. I think Jamal Williams, great flex player, because week in and week out, he's going to be in there, and he's going to get the ball around the goal line.
Well, I am going to go with my 3rd option as the clone of the said guy you just brought up. And that is the current Green Bay running back. You mentioned the former. I'm mentioning current here. A.J. Dillon, who will be the power back, I believe, going into this season. He's going to get a lot of those red zone looks at the end zone whenever Aaron Jones is out there passing or pass catching. So he will be a nice flex option and adds a really good whole new piece to your fantasy team, just like the 3 running backs before, because he will get those touchdown opportunities, and that can make or break your fantasy team if your flex is getting touchdown opportunities. And A.J. Dillon certainly will get plenty of those this year. So, Tori, your number 2.
My number 2 is going to be what I feel Pittsburgh's number 3, who was last year their number 1, kind of, in name only. Juju Schuster-Smith.
He was the number 1 TikToker.
he was. So Juju, I think, gets relegated to that number 3 receiver role, which is a role in how he got his start. He flourished in that number 3 role. I think Chase Claypool has taken over as their number 1 receiver. I think Deontay Johnson has taken over as the number 2 on the other side. Juju Schuster-Smith is going to be the number 3 option in that offense, and I can think of a whole lot worse options to have than Juju Schuster-Smith. And it's like I said, you look on early on in his career when he wasn't the number 1 guy, like he has been the last 2 years in Pittsburgh, he is an amazing receiver. When he had to take that number 1 role over, not so good. So I think less is more for him in this case.
Absolutely. So I went with a running back heavy group for my 5, 4, and 3. Now on to my 2. I'm finally getting into that that wide receiver look here. And that is going to be none other than Emmanuel Sanders of the Buffalo Bills. Reason why I mentioned that name, Stephon Diggs took a huge workload last year, as he's going to do this year. I can almost guarantee you that he is going to be taking, probably 60% of all throws are going to head his way, and the rest is going to be scattered about. Now, somebody who will be taking a lot of those because I think Cole Beasley steps away from the team due to the COVID vaccine issue. We won't get into that, though. But Emmanuel Sanders will be stepping into that number 2 role behind a really good receiver, and he's a great option at number 2. We saw what he did in Denver. We got a little taste of it in New Orleans, not too much, though. And now I think we're really going to see it in Buffalo. The guy is a great wide receiver. He's going to be sitting at a number 2, and he's going to be one of those guys that you might even be able to get on a waiver pick late, maybe even a late round draft pick. So keep your eyes out for Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to be one of the top flex options this year, and he's my number 2. So your number 1, Tori.
Drum roll. I'm going with a guy that was hurt all of last year for a team that's not going to be very good, who lost his job because A, he got hurt, B, they had drafted a rookie. I'm going with Tarik Cohen. I'm going with Tarik Cohen to have a great comeback year. Again, another team, the Bears are not going to be very good this year. Nobody's really going to be looking at a lot of players to score a ton of points, but Tarik Cohen, when healthy, is probably a top 15 running back in this league. The kid can run the ball, he can catch. The only thing he can't do is block. But the guy is nothing but he's Mighty Mouse. He's a small, shifty guy that is almost impossible to catch. So give me Tarik Cohen coming off of injury, who actually has the potential to be a really good candidate for comeback player of the year coming off of his injury this year. So I will take Tarik Cohen from the Chicago Bears as my number 1 flex option this year because nobody's going to look for him.
Great pick there. My number 1 is going to be none other than this guy here, who I may add before I say his name, is genuinely a good enough wide receiver where we could be talking wide receiver 2 or even wide receiver 1 numbers. But this is a guy who's going to fly under the radar. He'll be available later in the draft, a guy who is not looked at very much, but I promise you will have a great year if he stays healthy. That's Michael Pittman, the second-year guy in Indianapolis at the wide receiver position. He was incredible at USC. He did great things last year. But on top of the fact that he's going to be splitting touches with T.Y. Hilton, Mo Alley Cox at the tight end position. They got an incredible running back core in Indy, which gets a lot of reps. They've got a new quarterback coming in. Michael Pittman has the potential to be not just a great flex option. We could even look farther than that. He could be a wide receiver 1 option come week 1. We could absolutely see it. And this is a guy who's flying under the radar, and right now I have him at a flex, but I am not going to be slow at all to move him to a wide receiver 1 if you see he pops off. So that would be a really good option to get late in your draft to stick at a flex. He's a guy who's going to get a lot of receiving options. He's going to get a lot of touchdown opportunities. So we're going to see a lot of Michael Pittman this year in Indianapolis. Really excited to see what he does. So we'll run down our list real quick. At 5, I have Travis Etienne, Jacksonville running back. At 4, I have Kenyon Drake, Las Vegas Raiders running back. At 3, I have A.J. Dillon, Green Bay running back. Once I finish that running back trend, now we're on to the wide receivers. Emmanuel Sanders out of Buffalo, the wide receiver there for the Bills. And then my number 1, of course, like I just said, Michael Pittman, Indianapolis wide receiver. And Tori, your top 5 from 5 to 1.
My top 5, wide receiver Deshaun Jackson from the Los Angeles Rams. My number 4, Russell Gage, wide receiver, Atlanta Falcons. My number 3, running back Jamal Williams from the Detroit Lions. Number 2, I got Juju Schuster-Smith of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And my number 1 flex option this year, coming off an injury, going to be comeback player of the year, guaranteed to help your fantasy football team, guaranteed to be the best flex player you get, Tarik Cohen.
That is awesome. And that was our top 5 flex options here on the Man Hour Fantasy Football Update with Wyatt Williams and Tori Anderson, the Wyatt Williams and the Wisconsinite, I should add. Don't forget, you can see us live for $2.99 per month, and we will help you win your league. Here are our Twitter handles right here. You can get hold of us anytime with any of your fantasy football questions. And closing off, you've got to return next time that we have this. It's only $2.99 per month. We will give you all of those late round guys. We mentioned a couple of them here. You got a little taste of it, but we are going to mention all of those late round guys who will help you win your fantasy league, because that is what we're here for, Tori. We're here to help the listeners win, not come in second like I do every year, but win like you do every year. Win that fantasy football league every year. Right. You see, we put our knowledge together, and you can't not finish first. You have to. Like, it's not an option.
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, $2.99 a month gets you all the exclusive content here. We're Fantasy Football with myself at @manhour_TWW the White Williams and at @manhour_ Tori the Wisconsinite. Thank you so much for tuning in, Man Hour Nation. Or I'll tell you what. No. Hold on. What am I doing? Tori, you send us out, big guy. Go ahead. I just almost stole your role, man. You take it. Go ahead.
Since this is our little segment, Man Hour Nation, win your fantasy league.
I love it.